Know what all that was about. That was too much. I suppose the good news is that some of the I don't know. I don't know if it's good news or bad news, but anyway, some of the subreddits are back online and well, if they're done protesting, I don't really see any reason for me to stop um to continue not where am I going with this? I don't see any reason for me to continue postponing reading from our paranormal if they're back online cuz, they stopped. So, anyway, I mean, some of them are still dark, but our paranormal is not, and that's where we're going. I don't know how many new ones are gonna be there though. Hmm. Okay, but if I read that one, not only is Magic Cat going to be scared, but also she might be out of the loop because I don't think she actually knows anything because it's an American urban legend. I don't know. Maybe she's heard of it. Oh, a cautionary tale. Oh, that guy's back at the other side of the island again. That's annoying. Yeah, every once in a while they'll be like, "Oh yeah, there's this guy selling bogus art." I'm like, "Okay, why do y'all keep falling for it? He's been here 5 times. Surely you're not still being scammed. What on earth?" I think I might be on an island with idiots. I mean, yes, they're NPCs, but Jesus Christ. Why would you buy fake art from the same person 5 times? Shouldn't you know better by now? I don't understand. I feel like there's the people who'd be fooled by a fake mustache or the glasses with the nose. Like, I don't even. What is the logic? Also, hi, Magic Cat. Anyway, have you heard of Bloody Mary? Not the drink. And not the Catholic queen who killed 300 Protestants in one day. Although, I suppose those are two ways you might have heard of it. Anyway, let's see who posted this. Buckin' Booze 91 posted this a day ago. They asked, "Has anyone actually tried chanting Bloody Mary and legitimately seen anything?" I know, I'll hear some saying this question has already been asked, but that was a while ago now. I'm not going to lie, I've been tempted to I've been tempted to go into the bathroom, turn the light off, and chant. I believe it's supposed to be 3 times, and turn the light on, but I'm legitimately afraid. For one, I believe in haunting I think they mean hauntings and bad omens, but they spaced it weird, so it says haunting, sand, bad omens. Anyway, at the same time, I'm so curious, has anyone tried and experienced anything, or would it be silly as nothing happens? Dude, do you want to get cursed? What on earth? You said, oh fuck, the lady that now makes you fear the bathroom mirror. Also, you have heard of her. Yeah, when I was younger, people would like dare each other to do it all the time. Although I didn't think it was 3 times. I feel like I heard it was 5 or 6 times, but maybe my brain is just adding times. I really don't know. But I could have sworn that I heard a different number of times. Although I suppose the exact number of times doesn't particularly matter if you're about to get murdered and or cursed by a vengeful ghost. Oh, just saying. I feel like the number of times stops mattering at some point. Yes, you told me you stood on it too long. I guess whatever condition you have to deal with, you're not supposed to stand for long periods of time. Unless it's unrelated. Come on. Come on, fishy. Don't let me down. Is it a zebra turkey fish? Nope. It's a goddamn sea bass. It's always a sea bass. When in doubt. It's a sea bass. Anyway, good underscore bedroom 251 said 18 hours ago, how did this happen? My grandfather died not too long ago. The day he died, I asked him if my mind, if he could hear me, give me a sign through a praying mantis. That's oddly specific. Why a praying mantis? Like, why not a, I don't know, a swallow or a spider? I don't know. Like, it's weird. Why specifically that? so that's so oddly specific. Anyway, mainly because I haven't seen a praying mantis in years and they fascinate me. Oh, okay. I guess that's a good enough reason. Oh, maybe a week later I hear a tapping on my window and look outside and there was a praying mantis on my window. I've heard of loved ones sending messages in the afterlife, but I'm curious. Did my grandfather become the praying mantis for just that moment or what? How did he make that happen? I mean, it could easily be a coincidence, but I suppose it could also be a loved one coming back to visit you. I mean, if you think about Moana, didn't her grandmother come back as like a ray or something? So I guess it's technically possible. Do I have another? I don't have another fishing rod. Darn it! That means I can't catch this fish. I have to go make another one. Bell bag rug. Oh, right. That's the thing I ordered the other day. Anyway, I think I have a table up here. Ooh, forgot about this. I forgot I had a money tree. I think I have two money trees. It's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Not. Oh, wait. Oh, it hasn't rolled away yet. I might still have a chance. Might still have a chance. Yes. Anyway, the next one says. Wait a minute. Oh, they have a little welcome message. Wow, I can't talk today. It said, welcome back to our paranormal. Aww. Oh. Okay, now open with new rule changes. Okay, so they opened with rule changes. RIP. Hmm. Interesting. I wonder why. That's so bizarre. The specific rules they changed was bizarre. Sorry. This is oddly specific. So user. Oh, I thought it said trash mama. It says trash mammal. Trash mammal 84. 3 hours ago. My Bible has been open on my desk for the past 2 mornings. I don't read the Bible. Wait, so did a random Bible just show up? Because if you don't read the Bible, that implies you probably shouldn't have one either. What on earth? I've cross-posted this elsewhere. For some background, I've had a paranormal experience in the past, namely associated with NHI. This one, on the other hand, is really stumping me. For some background, let's see. Nope, read that. For the past 2 mornings, I found my Bible sitting on my desk opened. Yesterday morning, I saw this, had a quick WTF moment, and then stashed it away, not thinking about it much. This morning, it happened again. This time, I paid more attention, and it was turned to Daniel 3. I'm fucking lost on this one. I'm very much agnostic and haven't read the Bible in years. Oh, that's why you still have it. My housemate is the same, and I definitely trust when they say they had nothing to do with it. There's no one else around, much less anyone who would be reading the Bible. I've never felt any sort of presence or anything else where I was staying. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it's supernatural. It could literally just be that you're somehow haunted by a ghost that's, like, fascinated with the Bible. Like, it's not that deep. Anyway. Oh, here we go. Never felt any presence where I was staying, even though it's quite old with a very old church nearby. No one else has access to my study besides me, and the door was locked both times. I don't know what to make of any of this. Has anyone else had anything like this happen? I'm a bit scared, to be honest. Thanks for letting me share. Anyway. Hi, Awesome Asian! I love you! And, you know, if you have to stay in the wheelchair, that means that you might get more practice mowing people down. It could be fun. You could always pass it off as an accident too, especially if you're not as used to using it in certain places or spaces. You can just be like, oh, sorry, I'm still getting used to maneuvering it here. I know you're too nice, quotes, to do stuff like that, but I honestly feel like it would be amazingly funny. Hold on. I don't know why my brain shuts off when I'm fishing, but I have to concentrate so hard to make sure I don't let the fish go. It's kind of pitiful. Just a little bit. Okay, the comments are saying, like, please tell me you took note of which book, chapter, verse it's open to. Don't be scared. Someone said, they said they'd rather come home to an open Bible than a burning cross. Yeah, that's fair, especially as a black person. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. Ah. If anyone doesn't know, the KKK used to threaten you / show their displeasure by burning a cross on your yard. So, yeah. I'm dying over the people just laughing in the comments. They're like, yeah, that's fair. I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's fair. Someone said to put a camera on it. I suppose putting a camera up could help. Oh, wait a minute. Was there something down there? Oh, it hasn't run away? Oh, let's get that one. Hey, Magic Cat. Or should I say hello again? Oh, no! What on... I hate when that happens. I got it fair and square, and then it just dipped on me. Like a deadbeat dad. What the hell? What the fuck? It just... You saw that, right? It was like, I'm gonna go get the milk. It literally just fucked off. I was like, but you took the bobber. Why buy it if you're not gonna commit? Which sounds so weird to say out loud. But for real, why mess with my bait if you're not gonna commit? Fuck you, fish. What a time to be alive. We're completely sober and yet screaming at fish for not committing to us. Gotta love it. Okay, I don't really care about what the people are saying in the comments. Someone said 7 hours ago, I don't know if I'm going crazy or if my house is haunted. It do be feeling like that sometimes. When you're dealing with a haunting. It's like, am I just developing something? Kind of long. Oh, shit. Oh, well. So my partner and I bought a house at the start of last year. It's not that old, built in 92. 4-bedroom, 2-bath with an activity room. I don't know why, but activity room just made me think of ghosts. I don't know why. It has a lot of nooks in different rooms, but it's a great house with a yard. I'm fixing it up, but I'm starting to think maybe it's haunted, too. I just wish you would use punctuation, sweetheart. There are not nearly enough commas or periods in this. Like, at appropriate places. What the hell? Having spicy chicken sandwich, Magic Cat says. I'm jealous. I think I have a Lunchable left. I should check. I had cereal earlier, but it was not giving enough. Come on. You better be an actual fish. Fuck, I did it too fast. My bad. I didn't mean to tap it. We might as well go into the water now. Jumperoonie! Anyway, back to the story. Back to the story. Anyway, the first night and first weird thing that has happened is that we were going to sleep, and I have this weird nightmare that someone is climbing the fence near our bedroom. I wake my partner up in my sleep saying someone's trying to get in. I then kind of wake up but go back to sleep with my head and hand on my partner's chest. I'm still sort of dreaming, and I suddenly jerk my hand and grab the bottom of his throat, kind of like those weird jerks you do when you're falling asleep. Okay. What does that have to do with anything? I also dreamed that night that something was sitting on my chest. I chalked it up to stress and a new house. The second weird thing that happened is that my partner was snoring terribly, so I went to sleep in the spare room, which I had a habit of doing. Okay? I had this horrible sleep paralysis dream that something was in the corner of the room and it crawled onto the bed next to me and pushed me down. I've had sleep paralysis, but not like that. I felt it crawl onto the bed and physically push me. I didn't sleep in that room for months after that and felt uncomfortable in there. There we go. Ever since I've slept in that room, but I've only had one other nightmare of being laying down and a black snake making a beeline for me and wrapping itself around my neck and biting me. Uh, okay. Recently, though, in the last month or so, I've started feeling like I'm being watched a lot. Okay. It's like feeling someone is staring at you and it makes my hackles rise. I also hear slight whispers and feel soft touches, and it's starting to creep me the fuck out. My partner also found a knife sticking up weirdly out of the knife block, but one of us might have just put it in the wrong way. Um, okay. I'm a bit worried though, as I have multiple family members with schizophrenia, but I'm not a direct descendant, and I don't think I'm going crazy, though, as it only happens here, and schizophrenics generally lack self-awareness, so they don't know they're hallucinating. Huh. My partner has some weird dreams, but he also takes sleeping tablets, which sometimes cause weird dreams, so it might not be related. Also, it's winter here, and we just had the winter equinox, which is apparently when the veil is thinner, or so I've heard. I've literally never heard that. I've only ever heard that it's thinner on Samhain, which is why you tend to have dumb suppers on Samhain. And a dumb supper is basically you're hosting a supper, dinner, feast, whatever, and you invite spirits, usually your own ancestors, or at least your own personal spirits, to come and eat with you. And it's called a dumb supper because you're not allowed to talk the entire time. You're supposed to be mute because they're using the old word for being mute or nonverbal, which is dumb. It's interesting how it became equated with being stupid in modern times, but yeah, it just used to mean you can't talk. Anyway, the point of a dumb supper is to obviously honor and commune with the dead, but also the reason you can't speak is because the dead can't speak, and it's considered rude. So you're quiet sort of as a form of politeness. I'm not sure I'm explaining it well, but that's why you have to be quiet. You can't speak because the dead can't speak, so why would you be allowed to speak? But yeah. And there are different rules you can set. Like you can say that like all visiting spirits have to leave by the time this candle burns out, or all visiting spirits have to leave by sunrise on such and such day, or within 2 hours, or something. Like you can set rules so that you're not just stuck with them, basically. It's basically like rules they have to follow. Like if they want to come in, they have to follow this rule. If that makes sense to all of you. Anyway. I usually just invite my grandparents. I don't know what y'all be doing. But yeah, I've literally never heard anything about the solstice. Ever. Sorry, let me cut back to Magic Cat before I keep reading the post, but I love that Magic Cat says, and watching Sammy be mean. What? I don't remember. Sammy was your bird, right? What on earth is your bird doing that's so mean? Anyway, back to the post. Let's see. Solstice. Okay. As for the history of the house, it has two previous owners. I don't know if anyone has died here, as it's difficult to find that stuff out in my country, and there's no legal requirement to tell someone. That just, to me, that sounds like you have to automatically prepare for cleansing your wherever you move. That's all I'm hearing. They're not even allowed to disclose, and don't even worry about it. Just cleanse as soon as you get there. Fuck that. Don't wait for something to happen. Just banish, cleanse, you know. Don't put up protections until you cleanse because you don't want things trapped inside the boundary with you. Always make sure you cleanse that shit. Cleanse the fuck out of it. Every way you can think of. I don't care if you use smoke cleansing. I don't care if you use holy water. I don't care if you use all of it. Fuck it. No one ever said you only had to use one method. Fuck that shit. Anyway, I found out recently the area was a returned soldiers camp and migrant camp in the 50s. It's also 2 kilometers from a huge cemetery, but I don't think that would matter much. What do you think is happening? What are your suggestions for cleansing a house, or do I get a professional? Where do I even find someone who does that? I want my house to feel safe and it's starting to make me uncomfortable. I've joked about the house being haunted, but fuck, maybe it actually is. Well, since you seem like it would really scare you, like it would Magic Cat, then I would definitely recommend that you cleanse it. Um, Getting a professional could be helpful just because they would know what they're doing, but I feel like you don't inherently have to have a professional as long as you do it correctly. And I feel like it's I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't say this, but I feel like it's very hard to screw it up to such an extent that you like do the opposite. I'm just saying. Um so I feel like you could probably safely do that on your own. At least the bare minimum. I mean, if it's something that needs to be hardcore banished or exercised, that's one thing. But just a regular normal ass cleansing? Yeah. I think you should be fine. I think you should be able to do that. Let's see. What have people suggested? I don't know why they decided to become a not safe for work subreddit because there's nothing like raunchy on the subreddit, so what's the point of it being not safe for work? Like every post is tagged that regardless of what it's about now. It could literally be about how you talk to your grandma in a dream, but nope, everything's tagged in NSFW now. Makes no sense. And yeah, I thought that was one of your birds. I love that Magic Cat is just like, Sammy's a mean bird. Honestly, I don't think you'd ever be haunted by anything hardcore because if your animals are as mean as you say, I feel like they would intimidate the fuck out of anything that tried to settle there. I love how the top comment is just like, you're obviously suffering from extreme sleep paralysis and anxiety, and then telling them that they need to find a way to relax and change their routine. Damn it. Oh well. Yeah, they were like, obviously something is disturbing your sleep. They're like, change your routine, de-stress, buy a new bed, quit coffee, wake up at 5 so you're tired at 9. Smoke Smoke substances, decorate the spare room, whatever. One tip I can give for general insomnia is yawning. Yawn at night. It tells your body it's time to sleep and start releasing sleep chemicals. Really? Start yawning a few hours before you want to sleep. By bedtime, you'll be tired and sleepy. Then underneath, the person said, sounds scary. I suggest getting help from a professional. Whatever your beliefs are, start there. Like if you go to church, ask for help there, etc. I also recommend you be firm with whatever may be in your house because it is now yours and ask them not to bother you. Also, the third commenter was saying something I was already thinking. She says, it's believed by some that there are entities that feed on heightened emotional states, such as intense fear. I told y'all about my story with that spirit that was making me have nightmares so that they could feed off of the negative emotions from the nightmares and how I had to get rid of that spirit. I told y'all about that. I don't even have like a name, like a personal name or a species name. I don't know who or what kind of spirit. I just know it was a spirit that was feeding off of the negative emotions that came from nightmares. So technically, it could be both. It could be actual genuine sleep paralysis, but who's to say that sleep paralysis isn't caused by entities that like to feed on anxiety or frustration or fear or something? You know what I mean? Like, science and the supernatural or magic can work together. I'm just saying. They can both be true. I'm just sitting here like, wow, you're having to deal with a lot, hun. Hmm. Anyway, Someone else said it may actually be a stress reaction to life events manifesting through your subconscious into your sleep state. Then someone asked, well, does anyone else think the house is haunted? Also, keep in mind it can be both. If your mental health is bad, you're an easier target. That's what I'm saying. It could be both. It could be both, you know, biology and the supernatural. Yeah, exactly. It could be both. Like, yes, someone could be stressed. That doesn't mean that there's nothing going on, especially since, as both they and I have pointed out, um, whether you were already stressed or whether the spirit has manufactured stress, the more stressed you are, some spirits feed on that. They love that. That's what they eat, you know? So it could definitely be that. I love how they said, my 2 cents says you don't have to be sure what the problem is before taking steps to fix it. For your mental health, you do want to talk to a professional. That's often a slow process in most of the world. Get the ball rolling, and in the meantime, try generic self-help advice of better diet, exercise, staying away from substances, etc. If you can't talk yourself into jogging, a walk in a good atmosphere is still does wonders. For better sleep, use lavender or chamomile. Can have them in a tea or essential oils, whatever your preference is. Oh, you can also get them in a pillow. That's my suggestion, not the posters. You can also get a pillow filled with specific plant parts and just kind of like use the fragrance, the aromatherapy to go to sleep. Also, you know those potpourri pots? That would be a good place to like burn those scents to kind of help relax you as well. Or you could get a little spray bottle of it to put on your wrist before bed if you didn't want to use a tea or essential oil. Anyway, and I love how they also told them how to find easy instructions to cleanse a house using salt or sage. I don't know why specifically everyone goes to sage when there are so many plants you can use for this, but whatever. They also said to try prayer if they believe in it. I love how they gave spiritual and, well, I don't want to say practical because spiritual stuff can be practical too. But like, I guess just spiritual and non-spiritual. I don't have a better term for the non-spiritual. Okay. Okay. Best of luck, OP. Trying to solve all the potential problems at once. The downside is you'll never get a clear answer on what the problem was. But hey, as long as the problems go away, you'll feel better. True, it doesn't matter what it was as long as it stops. I love how someone actually details an entire cleansing ritual in the comments. Bless. Hmm. Now there's someone explaining how low-level sounds can cause hallucinations even in healthy people. Like, what? I guess because your brain's trying to make sense of the stimuli. I don't even know how they're justifying that. I love how someone said, even if it's not clear if there's a presence there, a cleanse can never hurt. Interesting. Hmm. Nice. Hello, cheesy pillow. I love that. I also read it as cheesy willow, so there is that. How are you on this? Is it a wonderful Monday? I suppose. Especially if you're alive and your life is going okay. Wow, this is really short. This is 2 sentences long. It says, has anyone heard stuff in your house when you knew you were home alone? So that's posted by 50 Shades of Mist. I love that name. Is that a joke about that one book series? They said it's primarily voices, and I used to live in the Appalachian area of Pennsylvania and would hear shit all the time. I mean, I'm never really home alone because of my cats. Like, they make so much noise all the time, jumping down, running, knocking over things. If there was a ghost that ever tried to get my attention by like footsteps or like banging, I wouldn't even know because I would assume it was the cats. Dead ass. Also, with all the weird shit the cats do, I literally just it would never occur to me. I would be oblivious to it. My cats can open doors because I've watched them. They can open drawers because I've watched them. Um, they have regularly knocked over the trash can and gotten into it. Um, any scratching at the door is always them, especially my one boy because he's really like what's the word, like kind of prissy, and he always wipes his feet off an extra 5 times when his brother's done. It's always kind of funny. It's like literally anything weird or even just something randomly that's like cold and wet touching your hand or face or whatever at night. That's always my cat just sticking their nose on me. Like, I literally would not notice. Dead ass. I do not think I could notice. I love the cheesy pillow. You're like, I just stay under the covers and nothing can get me. I love that. I feel like everyone has used the covers as a defense at least once in their life. I feel like everyone did that as a kid, right? That's not. I feel like everyone I've talked about has done that as a kid at least once. What else did you say? Because the dialogue box is tiny. Magic Hat said, imagine being in Monday. Screw you. Just because you're in the future. And I'm glad your day is going okay, Cheesy Pillow. Uh-oh. What are you doing? What do you mean you're doing stupid shit? Hmm. Interesting. So, one of the first responses... I always like seeing the responses to some of the... Aha. Okay. So, yeah, I'm just gonna go up the beach. Sarek said, not voices. I was dog sitting for my parents once. They live in a historic house. Oh, that's definitely guaranteed to be haunted. That used to be a town bakery in the 1700s. Still had the brick oven face. Interesting. Anyway, I fell asleep on the couch and woke up to the sliding back door in the kitchen slamming as the dog started barking. When I went into the kitchen, the dogs were barking at the glass sliding door. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Anyway, no. No. So I turned the floodlights on and nobody was out there. A big open field before turning to forest. That's when I looked out and noticed the door was locked from the inside. My parents were convinced I was dreaming, but I woke up to the sound of the slam. Then the dogs began barking, and they happened to be barking at the door I heard. It's all too coincidental to have been imagined. Interesting. I think I just gave the fish brain damage. Cool. Yeah, I don't know how I'm supposed to get to this fish. I don't have enough room. It keeps getting way too close. Can I cast from over here? This seems excessive. Oh! Well, that was oddly perfect. What'd you say, Magic Cat? The collar's kind of big, so she shoved her hand in it. Wait, who? What? Not me, my cat, lol. What about what? I'm confused. Hold on. Let me... I wish this window wasn't so tiny! And then you just go up the stairs on all fours and you're too fast for anyone. What? No, that I did not do. Oh, I guess you mean your cat somehow got a paw caught in a collar. What on earth? What kind of contortionist bullshit? Oh, nope. Sorry. Too fast. Sometimes I'm not even intentionally trying to catch anything. It's just that I can't keep my thumb tense. It's very annoying, actually. Oh, I did not even see the roaches there. Cool. Someone suggested it was a hypnagogic hallucination, but OP said that's not possible because it wasn't while they were asleep, it's what woke them up. And it also doesn't explain why the dogs were both barking at the door at the same time, just after um just after OP hearing that. Or why they were so agitated and had their hackles up. This is true. Wow, it's hard to get her directly at this thing. This is so stupid. There we go. Finally what? Finally what? Someone said a bird could have flown into the window. Yeah, but where's the fucking bird? It can't just disappear. Someone said, well, it could have flown off. That fast? And if so, why would the dogs be aggressive? Alright, Magic Cat. I know you have to do this incognito. You have to pretend you're going to bed. Okay. Hmm. Okay, Pete's mom 57 says, I've heard voices in my bedroom on 2 occasions. One said my name and it was coming from the ceiling, which coincides with the attic above. I responded to it asking it to talk to me. Are you crazy? Then a while later I heard hey, then it said my name. It was from the same area. On both occasions I invited them to talk with me. Why? They did not. Why would you do that? I really wish they had. My home was built in 1914. I'm sure there are some fun things that happen there. Dude, you're gonna get possessed. What the fuck is wrong with you? Okay, you're not gonna get possessed, but really, why would you invite them to... Why would you invite them to interact with you more? You don't even know what spirit it is or what it wants. And why would you respond with your name? Honestly, an interesting story would be if a spirit, like, tried to entice someone from the trans community, but they kept using the dead name, and the person's just not responding, and they don't understand why. Power move from the trans person, honestly. They took power away from a name that should have enthralled them. Snail poo? Well, that's one of the most interesting usernames I've ever seen. Snail poo 5. That implies there's a snail poo 1 through 4. I don't really know. I don't really know how that started. I don't know if Twitch makes you have unique names. I would assume so, just because of, like, branding and stuff. So yeah, that kind of implies there's a 1 through 4. How did you come up with this name? Please feel free to explain. Hmm. Okay. So King says, yes, and it's one of the reasons why I truly believe I'm haunted rather than just places I've lived in being haunted, as it happened in many places in several different states and even now happens in my current apartment, which was newly built and has no possible way of being haunted. So let me stop her there because that's not true. If something That's not true because if something happened on the land or even in a building that was previously there, then there could be something wrong with it because could be connected to the land itself instead of a specific structure. But anyway, I'll go on. But there have been many times where I was home alone, like completely alone, and I would hear things from footsteps to, hold on, to voices whispering or even talking at a normal volume, often hearing things like my name being called while I'm home alone and in the shower. What is it with spirits in the fucking shower? What pervy ghost is fucking with people in the shower? Oh, you missed another pervy ghost calling someone in the shower. Hold on, let me read the messages. My friend in grade 5 told me that word. What, poo? That's funny. So it became my username 5 years later. Um, we were still going through the comments of the anyone heard stuff in your house when you were new home alone post. Because there were stories in the comments. Let's see. We just read about her hearing people calling her while she's in the shower. Um, God, where is it? I lost my place because it closed the post. Oh, Home Alone in the shower, or I'll be in the bathroom in here talking the next room over or behind closed doors. I've been home alone and just sitting on the couch late at night snacking and watching YouTube. Why does that sound like Magic Cat? And would hear a female humming slash whistling a tune. Often sounded very mournful and sad, sort of humming. Usually I will hear that thing kind of in the winter. That might be a specific kind of winter spirit. I've been home alone before and been laying on the couch or on my bed falling asleep and feel a sensation on my face or hair as if someone was stroking my cheek gently or running their fingers through my hair, even though no one else was home at the time and my cats weren't in the room. They're touching your face and stroking your cheek? It could definitely have a creepy connotation depending on who or what is doing it, but the action in and of itself isn't really all that malicious. Like, it's not a particularly threatening kind of action. It is slightly creepy, but, you know, sometimes it be that way. Wait, what? Why are they... Why will they not stack it? There's enough room. This is so stupid. Anyway. I don't know why they won't just stack it. They're being stupid again. Now every human is magic, you say? Interesting. I assume you mean because I said that sounded like you. It did! They were talking about getting in bed and watching YouTube while eating snacks, and I was like, this sounds like Magic Cat. Copper8061 says, was sleeping in my parents' spare bedroom after coming home from overseas. Wonder if they're a soldier. Anyway. Woke up to a large black mass hovering over me. I was in complete terror, slept with the light on after that. Oof, that's rough. I know, you watch me instead of YouTube, but it still made me think of you. Deleted said, I wish I could share my own story, but this happened to my uncle about 13 years ago. One day he was taking a shower after work, and while he was in the shower, my aunt came into the bathroom to use the mirror or something. Okay. Hold on. So they were chatting as he was showering, then she left the bathroom. So he finishes up and goes out and says something to her and gets no reply. What? He walks around their apartment looking for her and doesn't find her anywhere, so he decides to call her. He asks where she went, why she leave all of a sudden, and she tells him that she was at the grocery store and hasn't been home all day. He swears that whatever he was talking to had her voice, and he saw her silhouette through the shower door. So it took on her appearance, at least her silhouette, and her voice, but it didn't hurt him or try to seduce him or enthrall him or lead him somewhere. So maybe not inherently malicious, but what on earth was it doing impersonating her like that? No snacks today for Magic Cat, Magic says. Okay. No snacks today. Yeah, I guess from your perspective, from your religion and folklore. Hold on. I swear to God, my brain stops working when I'm trying to fish. From your religion and folklore, right, it would be the spirit that looks like you, that follows you around. Yeah, I guess it would be less creepy from your worldview perspective because y'all have that, so you wouldn't automatically be creeped out by it. But there are a lot of places in the world where your doppelganger is evil. Or they're not evil, but seeing them means something about, like, doom or something. Although, I suppose it wasn't the actual person who saw their own doppelganger. It was their loved one who saw a doppelganger of them. Doppelganger means, like, shadow self or something, right? So honestly, that kind of reminds me of the spirit you're talking about, except, in a lot of European places, it tends to not have as good a reputation. I mean, sometimes it's just seen as benign, just like harmless, not necessarily good or bad. Interesting. Hmm. An Anemoya 793 said, "Yes, once saw a ghost in the window when pulling in the driveway. I wasn't home alone when this happened, but once my now spouse and I were having a party when we were young and his dad was away for the night. Weirdly, me, my spouse, and all of our and our friends all heard his dad's throat clearing and boots in the upstairs bedroom, even though he was gone and we thought no one was upstairs. Whenever we went into his room, we felt watched, like his presence was there even when he wasn't home. It was super weird." Interesting. Maybe he was astral projecting to you? Or I'm sure this is another instance where Magic Hat would suggest the spirit that looks like him and follows him around doing it. Although why it would be at his house with his kid instead of following him like it's supposed to, I can't really explain. Maybe Magic Cat has some kind of insight into that, why they would do that. Okay. Morbid Moon 2 said, "When I lived with my bio father, the house was getting progressively more active. My grandparents were out of town and my father was either working or away spending the evening/night at my stepmom's, leaving me completely alone after school. I constantly heard footsteps coming up the stairs, talking in the basement, things moving or falling in the basement, and occasionally footsteps in the back hall leading off from the kitchen. That house has so many stories, it was freaky." Hmm. Okay. Old Boot 4294 said, "All the time for years. Everyone will have left for the day, and then I'll hear my brother singing, or I'll hear my mom yell my government name, which she only does if I'm in trouble. I'll hear the bells on the front door when I go check who's home, the door is shut and locked, and then I'll hear a door on the other side of the house. Every door has a very unique sound. I've heard someone in heavy boots walking back and forth in the hallway. I'll hear a small crash like something being knocked off the table, but when I check every room, nothing is out of place. I used to tell myself that it's an old house settling or it was the pressure of the AC turning on or off." Hmm. I came here expressly to put my rug. Well, I was gonna put it in storage, but I may just actually put it in a room. I don't remember which room I intended for this, though. All I saw was use the dad's voice to stop their party. Hold on. You said could be just a spirit wanting peace and quiet and use the dad's voice to stop their party. Maybe, but there's not really a guarantee that they were being loud in the first place. Although I suppose the threshold for what constitutes as loud depends on the person/spirit. I heard of someone who had a crazy neighbor who would bang on their wall for them doing literally anything. Didn't matter if they were washing dishes, vacuuming, watching TV at a normal volume, even sleeping. The person would just bang on the wall and tell them they were being too noisy. And it's like, they're not allowed to live? They're not allowed to turn over in bed or fall or get something out of their closet? Are you crazy? Apparently, there were a lot of problems with that lady. Multiple people had moved out. She was just really obnoxious. And the person wasn't even penalized for breaking their lease because it was so common for people to move out when they had her as a neighbor that the landlord just kind of like gave up, I guess. They were like, excuse me, they were like, "Yeah, I know. It's hard for us to keep anyone in that room because she's like this." That's kind of fucked, isn't it? Anyway, is this the room we were gonna put the rug in? I don't particularly know if this will. Hmm. Nah, I don't really like it for this room. Of course, I don't really know where to put it. Miss T. What other T could have possibly happened? I'm trying to find somewhere to put this rug so I can go back to what I was doing. Anyway, Snoo. Snoo? I love that. Yeah, let's put it down in here for now. I don't know where I originally intended for it to be, but Maybe I did intend for it to be upstairs, but I just can't. Like it, I don't really like where. I don't like how it looks upstairs. I don't know. Anyway, Snoo said there's a lot of explanations for this. Pipes, rodents, and some other more offensive theories, unfortunately. Then someone underneath says, how can pipes talk, or rodents for that matter? Which, yeah, how does that explain talking? Could it explain weird banging or like scratching? Sure, but talking? Someone said, oh, excuse me, El Cueco, maybe? Just footsteps and things getting knocked over. Never heard a voice. Also, yes, Magic, spill the tea. I will wait for you to spill the tea while reading more little haunted snippets. Ellen Smithy82 said, yep, my front door has been heard slamming open and a person stomping up the stairs, both by myself and my mom on several occasions. We're the only two people who live here and there's nobody there. My dog has even run out of my room wondering who came in. It's happened when I've been alone pretty often. I've heard a male voice when there were no males present. Interesting. That's like Magic Cat with your male ghost, isn't it? Okay. Went to buy the rest of the stuff for the celebration. Right. Because y'all were going to have a feast. This is true. Okay. Continue. So, CFD Callahan. Hold on. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, that hurt. Hey, Wendy. What you doing, girly? Moon sheep. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by my own body. CDF Callahan said, this is a story that always scared me. When my mom told me when I was little. She was visiting my nan, and they were sitting in the living room. All of a sudden, they heard someone running at full speed on the treadmill in the bedroom above the living room. The pounding of the running was so hard that the ceiling fan was shaking. They for sure thought my cousin was upstairs using the treadmill. Minutes later, my cousin walks through the front door and the running stops. She wasn't even home. No one was upstairs. Scared the crap out of everyone. Okay, anyway, let's see Magic Cat's tea. We'll take a brief moment from spooky to read about the tea. So, Magic Hat says, so I went to buy the rest of the stuff for the celebration. Came back to my mom's husband playing PS4 and I was upset because I'm only allowed to play in the morning. Wait, if it's yours, why do you have times when you're allowed to play? You said you were in your 20s. I'm confused. Do y'all share the PS4 through the whole family or something? Huh. I think I'm having one of those just first world problems moments where I'm just like, but why doesn't everyone have one? Because not everyone can give everyone in the family one? Duh. I don't know. I just had a moment like, I don't know. It was definitely one of those. It was definitely one of those times where privilege was showing because I was like, what? Everyone doesn't have one? Yeah, I was definitely having a moment. I'm sorry. Oh, crap. I stepped on the locust. You left and didn't want to eat while he was still in there. Hold on. What was the middle part? So I told him if he plays in morning, I play at night, and he said no. What the hell? What does he mean no? First of all, it's yours to begin with. Second of all, if he's taking your slot, that means you take his. Did you tell your mom? Tell your mom. Also, he's not the boss of you. He's not even your real dad, and you're an adult. He can't tell you what to do. And the house belongs to your mom, and out of all the people she would kick out, it would be him, not you. So he's on thin fucking ice. Just saying. Honestly, well, I can't ever see myself marrying again because if something happened to my husband, I don't think I could do it. But if for some reason I did, and I came home and a grown ass man had stolen my child's electronic to use as his own, especially if they had specific times of day they played, holy god, divorce. I mean, the second you steal from my children, you don't get to live here, just saying. Every time you talk about him, I hate him more. You're definitely not just being dramatic or overreacting or being sensitive. Holy shit, he's such a piece of shit. Who steals from their kids? Biological, adopted, step, half, whatever. Who steals from a child? Not that you're a physical child, because you said that you were, like, very close in age to me, but it just bothers me because you may not be a literal child, but you're still your mom's offspring. And the fact that one of your parents, yes, he's a step parent, the fact that one of your parents stole from you is fucking disgusting. It would have been more disgusting if you were really young, but I just think it's disgusting that he would steal from his offspring. Uh, yes, you're a stepchild, but still. All right, what else you say? So I got to my brother's room and stayed there, waited. After that, I went back to my room. Didn't help him with his game. He finished it multiple times too. So after he finished his bullshit, he gave me the PS4. What in the hell? I would start hiding it, honestly. You and your brother, just start hiding it. When one of you isn't using it, when one of you's not using it, when you and your brother aren't using it, just hide it. And if he asks, just say you don't know where it is. That's literally the only thing I can think of. And then you two can just either play late at night or while he's not there. I'm petty. I'm so petty. I feel like you would be more likely to be passive aggressive instead of just aggressive. If you were going to be, like, aggressive at all, I feel like you wouldn't be regular aggressive. But yeah, like, it's a little passive aggressive, but honestly, go for it. I hate him. His own bio kid doesn't even like him. Come on. God told me and my brother are dogs because we are not respectful to him. A dog deserves more respect than him. If he had earned it, maybe he'd be getting it. If there was anything to respect about him, maybe he'd be respected. Suck on that, bitch. God, I hate that man. Can you tell? He's not even my stepdad and I hate him. Holy shit. He's truly despicable. You said you would beat his ass if you could. I mean, you could just hit him with your... You have a cane, right? Just hit him with your cane. Or crutches, or whatever mobility aid you have that isn't your wheelchair. Just hit him with it. He seems like if he were in a fantasy world, he'd be one of those entitled nobles that was just cruel and awful to everyone. You know, one of the ones that eventually gets poisoned. Yeah, he's one of those people. I mean, sure, sometimes good nobles got poisoned too, but it wasn't by their own people. Just saying. If you just treat everyone around you like shit, they ain't gonna want to help you if you're in trouble. And their hand might slip over your juice. Just saying. Oh, take the bait! And then it left. Fucked off like a deadbeat dad. Fuck you too, fish. What is it with these fish leaving faster than a man that heard the test is positive? What the hell? They're just fucking off as soon as I put the lure in. Like, my bait isn't good enough for them. They're just like, oh, actually, it's not that great. Bye. Like, what? Am I being trolled by fish? Anyway, an account 94 said, I get yelled at all the time when people are at work and I'm home alone. I've heard my husband's voice yell at me while I was in the bathroom, scared the hell out of me. Turned to the door and no one was there. My mom has heard me whistling at her while up in her room and I'll be asleep in mine. My husband has heard me calling for him while I was at my grandparents' house spending time with them. It's just normal for us now. We can ask the other person if they called us. If they didn't, we just shrug and blame the ghosts. What is it with all these mimicking spirits? That crazy chick 1231 said, when I lived in Massachusetts? Yeah. In the middle of the Bridgewater Triangle. What the hell is the Bridgewater Triangle? I remember waking up and knowing I was the first one awake. I stretched and heard a woman's voice say my name right in my ear. Gave me chills and ruined the good start to a morning. There was another time I heard the same voice say my name, a little further away and more slowly. Everyone was outside and I was inside at the time. There was another time in the same place that my sister was taking a bath, and my mom and stepdad at the same time were outside in the camper. A plastic tie that goes on the milk jugs flew at me while I was in the kitchen. Ashen Fan 123 said, when I lived with my parents, I used to hear my dad's voice call my name when I was home alone. It was very freaky. I used to also go to sleep in one of the bedrooms at the top of the house, which was also the spare room, and my grandmother would stay there when she visited. She didn't like it, and I can definitely see why. Huh. You think this is another clam, or it's a lobster? Also, I love how I'm hunched over like a gremlin that literally doesn't have any spinal column. Just like in a little blob shape. It's like, you know how to sit. Lean back against the cushion. You know how to sit. Are you sure you don't want him cursed, though? Or at least hexed or jinxed? Just saying. Dude might deserve it. It doesn't have to be anything super malicious. It could just be a little jinx to make him continuously lose the TV remote. Or to make him stub his toe every Friday. Or something. Like, you know. Well, every Friday might be too specific. Maybe once a month. Okay. Just offering. Just offering because he kind of deserves it. Because curses can either be mild or heavy and serious, but hexes and jinxes are much lesser forms of baneful magic. Yeah, it's usually something very minor. Like making bees hate someone, or making them stub their toe all the time, or making them lose their remote all the time. Little things like that. It's nothing major and life changing that will, like, fuck them up for the rest of eternity. That's the main difference. Anyway, nope, read that one. Weird Morsus? What on earth? Anyway, Weird Morsus said, frickin' yeah, I lived in a 200-year-old house in the UK. I was home alone because my family had gone on holiday and I had to take care of the pets. I kept hearing stomping upstairs. I thought maybe it was the neighbors being extra loud, but then I heard their car pull into the driveway. To say I became extremely paranoid is an understatement. Hold on. This is getting really annoying. Where'd it go? Disappeared. Okay. Give me a second. Of course. If someone just really isn't comfortable with baneful magic, there is the passive aggressive approach of instead of cursing, hexing, or jinxing someone, blessing everyone around them so that everyone else has better fortune and luck than them. You said he makes you feel homicidal. Well, please don't actually act on any of those urges. As much as some people deserve to get whacked, you deserve to have a full, happy life, and you can't do that if you're in prison. So please don't do anything like that. Regardless of whether or not he deserves it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Just saying. Because, you'd just be throwing your own life away. There's no point in doing anything like that. The best revenge is to make sure that your life is way better than theirs so they know how much they suck. Just saying. Alright. Just checking. Because again, not everyone likes Baneful, but you can use boon magic to be passive aggressive too. Just by blessing everyone around them. Just like, ah, yes, you will have great fortune, and you will have a great turn of events, and you will have, I don't know, an influx of cash or something. Just like blessing everyone around him, but not him. Nah, I saw a witch do that before. She didn't believe in cursing anyone, so she just blessed everyone around the person she was angry at so that everyone else had better luck and fortune than them. It's kind of funny. You just don't like when your mom gets unhappy because of his bullshit. I understand. Especially since you actually care about your mom and have a good relationship with her and she's good to you. Must hit extra hard. I mean, honestly, I feel like he's going to. I feel like he's one of the people where it's like you don't even need to curse him because he's going to eventually ruin his own life. So I don't have to come for his whole career or whatever because he's going to do it to himself. Because it's like stupid games get you stupid prizes. He's going to do something. Like, he's going to screw up. I mean, you said he screws up a lot anyway, but he's going to have such a major screw up. There's just going to be the point of no return. Whatever it is. This has got to be that clam. The lobsters aren't usually like this. Then again, if it is the clam, it'll eventually come to rest somewhere. Which is how I often get them. Because they just decide they need to stop suddenly. Okay, this says, when I was younger, I would be home alone during the day. I'd often hear my mom calling my name from a different end of the house. It would sound exactly like how she'd normally call me. I always knew it wasn't really her, so never investigated. Never happened again after moving from that home. Always wondered what it was. Actual comedian 4332 said that. Hmm. So, Spirit of Josh said, voices, no, so not directly answering, but I woke up a few nights ago to the sound of someone tapping on my window. I live alone in an apartment on the bottom floor, but my bedroom window is surrounded by bushes, so it's unlikely someone would randomly do that. Oh, because it would be difficult for them to even know it was there. Duh. Could be, though. Gray Malkin 76 said, hmm. That's not a story, though. That's not relevant. Anyway, Dags Reddit said, whenever I'm in the shower, I hear what sounds like 2 or 3 people having a conversation in my living room. Turns out this is quite a common experience. Don't know whether it's something explainable to do with showers, ears, and echoes, or whether it's paranormal. I've actually got out of the shower and went to check a few times, convinced there are people in my house. It's like indiscernible voices, talking loud enough to hear, but not loud enough where you can make out words. Very weird. We'll get rid of the anemone, I guess. I don't even remember what I found. I love how Magic Cat was said, oh hell no. And you feel like, oh, like a headache is coming on? Sorry. Ooh, it was a clam. What's normal? You getting headaches or the talking in the shower thing? What was the hell no to? I'm so confused. Still size 3594 said, I guess I'm what you call a sensitive. I've heard stuff since I was about 8, but this one time someone called my name. I was just sitting in bed reading. Pause. There we go. I was just sitting in bed reading. The house was super quiet. My kids were all asleep. It was clear as day. Not a whisper, but not urgent either. It just said my name. Okay. Needless to say, I wasn't creeped out. The house was so haunted, so I was very used to paranormal activity happening almost every day. Magic Cat would cry. Guaranteed. Magic Cat would fucking weep over that. The house being that haunted. You did hear people talking at Grandma's house. Open door, saw no one. I didn't even know other people use that wording. A sensitive. Because I never read that online anywhere before. It was just something I knew that I was. And started saying it, like, internally to myself when I would think about this stuff. But I didn't know anyone else used that vocabulary. Spooky! Sounds like psychic powers to me. Anyway. Xi Jinping says, yes. Oh, they jokingly said they had Canadians in their walls. That's funny. That actually is a little funny. Found out I had Canadians in my walls. What on earth? I know they're joking, but that's the most random thing to say. Why Canadians specifically? I love how Magic's like, girl, I would call my mother. LMAO. Okay. Treacle okay 1122 said, hold on. The Appalachian Mountains and area around is very haunted. My boyfriend used to hitchhike through there and said he heard voices of people he knew and heard his name called all the time. See, I feel like that's how you go missing. And not in a kidnapped by human traffickers kind of way. I just mean being out in the Appalachian Mountains and randomly hearing people talking, and you can't see anyone. And someone specifically calling your name, not just like, hey buddy, or something like that. That is kind of creepy. Yeah, no thank you. Okay, what's the next one? The Master of Doom. I love these usernames. Love it. Back when I lived with my parents, I heard my mom call my name sometimes when she was either not home or she would be very confused and tell me she was not yelling my name. Other times when I was looking for my mom, I checked her bedroom and would see her making her bed. So I went to get a snack. Why does that remind me of Magic Cat? I went to get a snack assuming she would be done after, only to walk into the living room and see her there. I asked her, weren't you in your bedroom just now? And she'd say no. Interesting. Now living on my own, I was once curious if I talked in my sleep, so I recorded myself sleeping. Nope. That sounds super creepy. That just sounds like a way to get scared. Or creeped out. Or freaked out. Anyway. Listening back to the recording, I heard what seemed like footsteps, and a bit later a voice whispering, "Help me." What on earth? Why are they in trouble? Why do they need help? One time, a can of cooking oil was flung through my kitchen while I was in the living room. The oil was everywhere. Sometimes when I lay in bed, I feel what seems like someone touching me. I live by myself. Presumably also has no pets since, you know. Because I feel like if you have pets, you can't honestly say you live by yourself because obviously you have pets. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to scare you or make fun of you. This one is tagged as elf/fairy. Interesting. Okay, so I do have some spots open. Something odd happened yesterday. One of my dogs has 3 puppies. Now I keep them separate from other dogs to avoid fighting since new moms can be aggressive. I barricaded them in another room. Think like half a door just to keep the mama and baby safe. Okay. Now I do take them out for a few minutes supervised so the others can get used to them. Oh, darn it. Okay. So others can get used to them. Right. So yesterday I got home and one is missing. I had seen all 3 an hour earlier. I searched the room. Nothing. Wait a few minutes and go in. Still nothing. Now I searched the room inch by inch very carefully. Was afraid to step on the poor thing. Under everything and behind every nook and cranny. Still no puppy. Now I don't know why, but the thought of a house troll or duende, as they're sometimes called, popped into my head. So I got to the room with my sea salt. I eat a lot of salt, so I have plenty to spare. Toss a few handfuls to irritate them and say, "Put it back, goddammit." Not less than 10 minutes later, I check and the puppy is placed neatly on a blanket. Aside from being frightened and having a few nightmares, she was okay. Strange, but at least the puppy was safe. Interesting. So they have their own folklore about fair folk or fairies. And they thought that one of them was, I guess, keeping the puppy? It is weird that the dog couldn't get out and there was literally nowhere for the dog to hide. And I'll just let it stay on the ground. I'll come back for it. Yeah, poor puppy, but hey, it's not like it was killed or anything. They were able to get it back. It was just temporarily stolen by a supernatural being. But yeah, Missing Pup and House Trolls. It was written by BC? Beast 16 3 hours ago. So, yeah. Scared? Why? I mean, all kinds of cultures have stories about people being spirited away. There's an entire studio. How do you pronounce it? Ghibli? I've heard people fight over how to pronounce it, but there's an entire ass movie about being spirited away. It's literally called Spirited Away. I mean, there are cultures with concepts of people um either being marked as like, blessed or cursed or special or something by a spirit, or being taken away by a spirit for a certain amount of time or forever, of people being swapped out for an aging member of like a certain supernatural or spiritual race so that they can have a good retirement and be treated as a baby while the baby is taken in by, the spirits or the fairies or what have you. I mean, there are all kinds of stories in different cultures about that. Hmm. I'm surprised you haven't heard of that. Yeah, it's fairly common. I mean, there are some stories about people being lured away so they can be eaten or something. But there are also plenty of stories about people just literally being taken, you know? Here you blame demons. Interesting that it's specifically demons that are being blamed for that. Not fairies, not vampires, not gods or nature spirits. Demons. Lovely. What did the poor demons do to you? Just this slander, this blood libel. Anyway. Edward Do posted 8 hours ago. I said that because there's 5 O's in a row, so how else would I say it but do? Unless it's Eduardo. I suppose it could be Eduardo. Dying over the number of O's here, though. It's probably Eduardo, but I don't really know. That's the thing, though. It's not spelled with the Spanish spelling like Eduardo. It's spelled like Edward and then 5 O's, which is why I said it as the other way first. It's not spelled as Eduardo. It's literally spelled as the English Edward with 5 O's after it. I don't know what's going on here, but it feels slightly chaotic and I'm here for it. Anyway, 8 hours ago. Yeah, it's entitled Dark/Shadowy Fresno Nightcrawler-ish Encounter in Denmark. But shouldn't the Fresno Nightcrawler be in, I don't know, Fresno? Just asking out of curiosity. Should that not be where it is? Oh, and you mean disappearing in general. So you would think that a demon had the puppy. Interesting. But yeah, they were like, it's fairies/fae/trolls from their folkloric or religious point of view. And they were like, oh, well, I have a lot of salt. Salt is bad for fairies. Let me get salt. And they were like, give it back. So they basically had a means to threaten it. I guess it would be like, for someone who believed in demons and that demons can do that, it would be like them threatening one with holy water and it working. I guess. Except fae aren't inherently evil. Although, I guess you could say demons aren't inherently evil. It really just depends on your faith and your folklore. But yeah, I love that they literally just threatened it, like, give it back. I'll throw salt in your eyes. Like, okay, but do fae actually have a weakness to salt, or do they just not want salt thrown in their eyes, as any normal person would not want done? I too would not want salt thrown in my eyes. It sounds like it would hurt. Anyway. OP said, hey everyone, I want to ask whether someone may have an explanation as to what I could have encountered. I was walking home from work yesterday after dusk, yet it was still somewhat light outside, as during these times in Denmark, the light persists for quite, I guess they mean quite a long time, but they said quite long. And at 3 separate, occasions, encountered/heard something strange that I cannot fully comprehend or explain logically. The first one was a 500 centimeter tall guesstimate shadow/dark bipedal figure running at high speed away from me, which I only saw in the corner of my eye and did not pay much attention to. 50. Why did I read 50 centimeters tall as 500 centimeters tall? Oh my god. Ah. I love that Magic Cat commented with holy gun. Yeah, basically. Oh, so side note, but do y'all remember how in the show Supernatural they had the Colt, which was basically a supernatural gun that you could fire at supernatural creatures and it would injure them? Yeah, that was a thing. In a show though, not in real life. Anyway, back to the post. 300 meters further, I saw what appeared to be a human in dark clothes walking around 20 to 30 meters in front of me, but when I took a better look, it seemed like it was just legs up to around knee height. What? Interesting. After I realized what I had seen and could not make any logical conclusion of, it turned to the left and walked through a tree line, after which it seemed to have switched to 4 legs and disappeared by the time I walked where it had been standing previously. What's even weirder is the fact that there is nowhere to hide in that area, and I had clear vision of where it should have gone, and even checked where it went into the tree line. It had vanished. At this point, I felt eerie and creeped out, as there are usually not many people walking around, but it happens, though they always stay fully visible and never disappear. The third time was almost at my house door, where I have heard rustling and movements in the bushes where cats usually hide, but they don't make such loud noises. The thing that I saw disappear into the tree line somewhat resembles a Fresno nightcrawler, but it had human legs and was dark slash shadowy slash black. This was in Copenhagen metropolitan area, if it helps anyhow. Thank you for any insight. I love how you said, no. Wait, what is that in response to? The Fresno Nightcrawler or Supernatural? Everything. Can you elaborate? No was in fuck this, I'm out? Or what sense is it in? This makes me think of Magic Cat if you ever actually went to get snacks at night and it would freak you the fuck out. So, Woman in Black posted this 12 hours ago. I love that they picked Woman in Black. Anyway, they said an invisible hand pressed on the back of my head in the kitchen, but I want to go down and get food. I'm really hungry, but I was terrified out of my kitchen by the feeling of a hand being pressed on the back of my head. I'm chilling in my room right now because it seems like a safe space. I've never really encountered any intense paranormal activity in my house before. Is there anything I can do to spook the ghost away? I have Nag Champa. Update from OP. I went and got food and nothing happened. Someone just commented, glad you got food. Someone commented, spirits can harm you in the long way by feeding off your energy points. Physical effects are a bit rare, but usually... Are you sure? Because how many people have been in this subreddit talking about spirits touching them? What do you mean a bit rare? Um, I have to disagree with that. But and then they go on to say, but usually it means a will to contact rather than an attack. I mean, to be fair, most of the touches I've heard about have not seemed like overt attacks, besides the ones where people wake up with bruises and scratches. Like, a lot of the times they're just like, oh, it touched my hand, arm, face, leg, stomach, something. You know? Admittedly, most of the touches I've heard about don't sound like an attack, per se. Um, unless it seems spicy in nature, in which case, yeah, that's a different kind of attack. But yeah, I've only heard one or two that's like scratching or bruises or biting or something. The rest is just like, yeah, and then it touched my face, which isn't overtly threatening in and of itself, but it depends on what else they did or didn't do that could prove threatening. This is probably seaweed or an anemone. You said the room is dark, so Magic's feeling uncomfortable. Oh, it was an anemone. I don't know what to tell you, Magic. I'm sorry. I had some people in the comments on YouTube. Well, I say some people, but it was like one person. Who was like, they really liked the combination of spooky stories and, Animal Crossing. I almost said Animal Crafting. God help me. Um, I don't know where that came from. Hmm. Speaking of which, I need to go and get something out of the dryer because I don't want it to smell bad. Thankfully, it hasn't been long. Like, not even an hour has passed yet, but I just really don't want it to lay there in its own wetness. I don't know. Sorry, Magic, for making you uncomfortable. God, this one's frustrating. It's probably a clam, too. Or a lobster. Why not deal with it here like Magic? What do you mean? The following happened in a house my parents bought back in the 80s. Posted by Fourth Degree Night. What do you mean? I guess I don't really know what you mean, Magic Cat. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah, fuck you. I don't even know where I am right now. Oh, we're up the side of the island. Let me see if I can go get this thing. If it moves, I hope it's not fast. Hell yeah. Okay. So, it's tagged as TW abuse. Interesting. Sorry that this is a long post, but I want to explain everything as best I can remember. In the late 80s, my parents moved from one part of the state to another due to my dad's work. We had to live in an apartment for a while because my parents found a place to buy. I remember going with them a few times to look at older homes as my dad wanted to a deal and wanted to get a fixer upper. Sorry. Most of the older homes were that's fucked up. Most of the older homes were really ugly and creepy, but my parents had settled on a house that was a 2-story, 5-bedroom with 3 bathrooms. The house was twice as big as our other house and seemed like a castle compared to living in an apartment for months. The house was very dated, and all throughout the house there were furnishings, decorations, and stylings of the late 1960s and early 70s. The same weekend my parents bought the house, we were all expected to pitch in and do things like tearing out old carpet, painting, removing old wallpaper, and sanding down cabinets. Jesus Christ. That sounds like something you'd hire a professional for, but alright. It does indeed keep running away, and we're not fast enough. I have to wait for it to screw up. Usually they get confused and they come down at an angle, or some of them have to stop to rest, and that's when I get them. Like if I chase this one into the corner, it will have to turn around, and usually they swim into my arms. Or sometimes they get tired like that and rest. Clearly it didn't rest long enough though. What's driving me batty is how close we are to touching it. Why can't we hit a like turbo button so that we can put on a burst of speed and catch it? Like it's so stupid. Also, hold on. Let me take a pause. What'd you say? Oh, you said this Pokemon is weird. LOL. Honestly, for the first month I was playing Animal Crossing, I kept trying to call the fish Pokemon, and it was just killing me inside. I'm just so used to playing Pokemon games, and I just couldn't get it out of my head. This thing is so frustrating. You forgot to wear cat socks? Wait, how is that related to anything? Oh, really? Why did it let me get that close? Oh my god. It's invented just to torment me, isn't it? Oh wow, it's gonna throw its fellow under the bus. Probably a barnacle, honestly. Oh! It was sea grapes. Never mind. Interesting. Yeah, you do talk about random things, but it's okay. God, where were we? Oh, sanding down cabinets. Right. There were a few times during the renovation period that my parents left, or one or a few of us kids was alone in the house while they went out to the apartment to rest. Okay. Almost immediately, things started to happen in that house. Strange things at first, like a radio. Oh, it was a clam! Sorry, had to break from the post. I knew it was a clam. Anyway, almost immediately things started to happen in that house. Strange things at first, like a radio my parents kept there to play music while we worked would turn off or on randomly. Lights would flicker, and if you were working downstairs, you would hear people walking upstairs. This happened so much that a few times I thought someone broke into the house. After we moved in, things continued to happen of some significance. Like when my bedroom door was upstairs and I heard someone walking up the stairway. At this time, I was home alone and thought my parents had returned, but they hadn't. I can imagine how that would have been disturbing. Oh, sorry. Magic Hat says, how long have I been playing? Wait, what do you mean? To know all this. You mean like to know what I'm hunting? Uh When was my first Animal Crossing video? That's a good question. Hold on. I'll check. Let me get this. Tiny but moving. That's several things it could be. Especially with the sea urchins introduced. Okay. At least since it's Animal Crossing and not Minecraft, nothing's gonna, like, I don't know, tug on her ankle and drown her or something graphic, since everything tries to kill you in Minecraft. Whatever. Let's see. I can, at the least, I can see when the playlist was created, because it's all in a playlist. Because surely... Okay, so the first video has the title, I don't really know what I'm doing. Because I didn't. When was it posted? Because at the very least, I should be able to see the information from that. Okay, so it looks like this was from 5 months ago? Yeah, my first video was from 5 months ago. But that was the first time I've ever played Animal Crossing ever, so... It's not like I had the other games to go off of. Yeah. So not that long. I know people who've been playing Animal Crossing for decades, so... You know, it's not really all that impressive. It's like, oh, 5 months. You know, it's nothing. Oh, here's the fake art dealer. Yeah, he likes to scam he likes to scam people. That's who's back here. Actually, I'll just get my wood later because I don't think I want to sell it. I thought about it, but I should probably keep it. Yeah, I'll have to come back for those items. They'll be fine. They'll live. Or not. I don't really know what Timmy and Tommy do with them afterward. I mean, they probably sell them for slaughter, but, you know, whatever. I don't really have a way to confirm that. It's not really my problem. I just get the materials. Alright. Wait. We sold 2 of these clams last time, and there are 3 this time? You realize those are 15,000 bells each, right? So that would have been 30... Wow, okay. Because that's what? 15, 30, 45, 60, 75 or something like that? Holy God. Anyway. Well, you can tell what some of them are by the size of the shadow, the way that they move, so the speed and the pattern of how they move. Some of them, like how far away they are from shore, can determine it a little bit. If they move at all, definitely determines it. Because there are some of them, like seaweed and the anemone, that don't move at all. But yeah, just little things like that. You can kind of guess what it might be. Because even things with the same size, some of them will move differently than others. Because, for instance, the barnacle's not going to move at all, but the slug moves. It just doesn't always move, or when it does move, it's not particularly fast. But, you know, there aren't that many things at that size that are going to move to begin with, so... Nice. Alright, we're going to go back and get our other stuff. I don't know if we're ever going to get finished reading about that one person's post, because, God, they wrote a novel. I'm getting depressed having to keep reading it, because it's so long. They don't even have a too long didn't read. Send help. Anyway, let's see. Alright, we had just read the part where apparently they would hear people coming up the stairs and they thought their parents were home, but they weren't. Anyway. Wait, what, Magic Cat? Let me see what Magic Cat said before I keep doing this. Magic Cat said, I don't know if it's me or your stories, but it feels weird being in my room. Honestly, the stories are probably just making you feel paranoid. I would think. Yeah, I would think that the stories are making you feel paranoid. It's making your it's making your brain over vigilant, I guess is what I would say. But yes, let me get back to OP's story. Another time I had heard a scratching at the window. It sounded like a tree branch was rubbing against it, but there was nothing there, and no tree for more than 40 feet from the window. Yeah, that's a little weird, but it could have been like, well, I doubt it was a squirrel if it's that far away from the trees. Could have been a bug though, right? I don't think mice would have been crawling by, but One time a few friends from school came over, and if you were walking up the stairs all the way across, there was a wall of mirrors. What the hell? Along stairs, and my friend saw a lady walking up behind her and thought it was my mom and turned around to say hello, and no one was there, and she screamed and ran out of my house. What in the actual hell? Why is there an entire hallway of mirrors? That just sounds like nightmare fuel. Anyway, OP says that another time a friend had stayed the night and he slept in the room next to mine and he woke up to someone whispering next to his head in a language he didn't know. He jumped up and ran out of the room, sorry. We looked around and woke my parents up. My dad accused us of playing a prank. Like I said, my bedroom was upstairs and it was down a short hallway where my bedroom door was on the left and the bathroom door was on the right and straight ahead was the guest bedroom. My god, please clean up the punctuation in this. It's so hard to read. In the middle of the night, I woke up to hearing a motor running or something. I remember laying in my bed hearing the noise. That phrasing doesn't make sense. I got up and opened my bedroom door and noticed it was coming from the hall bathroom and it was a hair dryer. What? I rarely ever use that hair dryer, but it was in there sometimes because my sister would come upstairs to do her hair and makeup in the bathroom. And if the other one was occupied, as my parents didn't want us kids tying up their bathroom. The thing was, I can't remember when the last time my sister was in there, and I don't remember the hair dryer being left out. My parents would often take long weekend trips back to our old city to visit friends and family, so when I got older, I was left home alone a lot. They would take my sister, and my parents also often had foster kids, so they went along too. I would prefer it that way, so I would order pizza and have a few friends over and rent a movie. One of these weekends, I didn't get any sleep. Okay, so sleep deprivation. And couldn't get any friends who wanted to stay at my house. Alright. I was stuck there home alone for a very long, sleepless weekend. It started the day my parents left. I think they took an early weekend off, like a Thursday. A Thursday morning. So when I got home from school, the house was empty. That night I woke up to footsteps upstairs. It sounded like someone was walking across the upstairs family room but not stopping. I I grabbed a bat. Damn, they said you can catch these hands. I grabbed a bat and walked out of my room, expecting to find a thief or someone who broke in. Instead, I find an empty room. God preserve me, it's so long. Help me. I did I didn't sleep that night. The following evening I was upstairs and my friends had just left. How many ands are in this sentence? And I was home and I remember I was sitting upstairs and heard a loud noise and it's God help me. It sounded like something really big had fallen over, like something really heavy. There were 8 ands in this sentence. God help me. Um I jumped up and started to call out for my friends Chris and Mike. I was thinking it was them playing a prank on me. I ran downstairs and most of the lights were off. The front door was locked and nothing had fallen over. I searched every window and door and everything was locked and secured. I barricaded my room and locked myself inside. Later that night, my girlfriend called me and we talked, and I didn't tell her what was going on because I didn't want her to think I was just some kid afraid to be home alone. During that conversation, I heard loud footsteps outside. I got really quiet and she was on the phone asking me what was going on, and then she said, "What is that noise?" I said, "You can hear that?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "I've been hearing that all night." And she said, "Get out of that house now." I told her no, that it happens a lot. She stayed with me on the phone till 4 a.m. and she eventually fell asleep. I started to fall asleep again when the footsteps started again. Oh, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, and all his carpenter friends. Why is this so long? When I left my room around 7, I walked downstairs and found that one of the lights I had left on was off. I checked to see if the bulb burnt out, but nope, it was switched off. The final night I was home alone, I had grabbed my dad's shotgun and kept it in my room with me. Jesus Christ, that's the most American thing. You find out you're haunted and you try to shoot it. I don't even know what to say. Excuse me. Kept my dad's shotgun in my room with me. It was about 3 a.m. I was startled awake by what sounded like the garage door from the garage to the house. You know, the regular one, not the big one. Sounded like someone slammed it. I was sure someone had broken into our house. It made sense. Our car was gone and the house looked empty. I grabbed the shotgun, put a shell in it, and walked down my hallway towards the stairway. I turned on the lights for the front door as there was a switch at the top of the stairs and went over to the garage door. The door was locked. I looked at the front door and it was locked too. I went to the kitchen, turning on every light in the house, room to room searching everywhere, including the closets, pantry, and washroom. I ended my search in my parents' room, which was the furthest point downstairs. When I was in my parents' bathroom, I heard just above me footsteps. Why the fuck can you not use commas and periods where they're supposed to be? Please, God. Right above my parents' room was the guest room upstairs. I immediately ran upstairs, shotgun pointed as I ran. I bust the door open and found an empty room with an empty bed. Hold on. I don't know how I didn't pull the trigger when I bust open that door as my finger was on it. I know that's bad trigger discipline, but I was expecting to find a murderer or burglar in that room. Hell yes. I cleared the house twice, looking under beds and everywhere. By the time lights started to appear outside, I ended up upstairs, sitting on the sofa with the TV on, half asleep with the shotgun still loaded next to me. That sounds more dangerous than you running into the ghost. Holding a loaded shotgun, which probably didn't have a safety. You probably weren't handling it correctly, and your fingers on the trigger? Dude! That's a good way to have an accident. I then emptied the gun and put it back before my parents found me with it. Okay. A while after that, still having some odd things in the house, like unexplained shadows, noises, lights turning on and off, I just sort of started to live with it. So they started off being as scared as you, and then they got desensitized to it. Huh. A while... wait, no. Read that part. One summer, my dad... How many more things can you tell us about? One summer, just to be clear, this is the same person. This is the same OP. One summer, my dad wanted me to clean the garage and suggested I use the attic above the garage to put the things we didn't use anymore. Just boxes of old financial stuff, old toys, and luggage. When I was up there, I noticed something. The attic above the garage was huge, like almost another room. Then there was a wall that went separating the garage wall to the house, so I looked at it thinking this isn't the back of the restroom or the guest bedroom, like it didn't make sense. I then jumped down out of the attic and went outside. I'd never noticed this before, but between the upstairs and the area that connected over the garage, there was a huge space. On top of that, there was a metal vent the exact same size as the guest bedroom window. Jesus Christ, how long is this? I went back inside the house looking for clues, and sure enough, there was a void, and at the top of the stairs, I looked at the wall and thought, holy shit, there used to be a door there. I jumped up into the attic space above the garage and cut a hole in the drywall leading back to the house. I cut a hole big enough for my head to go through. I looked inside, and it was another bedroom. That had its carpet ripped up, but still had the strips along the wall that held the carpet. It had old yellow and pink wallpaper, and it looked like it used to be a girl's room or something, because one of the walls, the one I cut into, was painted pink like Pepto-Bismol. I enlarged the hole big enough to climb in and found the old table-like bedside table, old beer cans, an old empty pack of cigarettes, and trash like crumpled up newspapers. I had asked my parents if they knew about the room, and my dad was kind of upset with me for cutting into the drywall. I told him there's another bedroom and was excited about finding it, and he said he didn't want to open it up and to just leave it alone. I got the idea they knew about the extra room, but for whatever reason didn't want to open it and deal with it. Well, that sounds ominous. You see, my parents were very strict religious people, and any talk of ghosts, hauntings, or spirits was opening up an invitation to demons to enter the home. I found out early on that I couldn't talk about things like noises, shadows, or footsteps without facing their wrath. Even to my own siblings, they would rat me out. I was already on really thin ice for not living up to their standards. Anyway, my parents had a long-time foster kid who was just a few years younger than me. One time I had found her sitting upstairs alone, and at first I thought she had gotten into trouble due to the way she looked. It was like she was pale and almost in tears. I walked by and said something like, "Uh-oh, what'd you do?" She looked at me shaking and said nothing. I said, "Why are you crying?" She said, "I'm scared." I said, "Why?" And she said, "I can't tell you." I thought it had something to do with the reason she was a foster kid, so I said, "Oh, okay, I understand." How much can you write about? As I was walking away, she said, "Do you think there are ghosts?" I stopped dead in my tracks and looked at her like, "What did you say?" She looked scared and started to be like, "Nothing, never mind." I came over and sat next to her and said, "Have you been hearing things or seeing things in this house?" She looked at me in shock and scared to say anything, like we would get in trouble with my parents. I whispered, "I know what you mean, but we have to keep this a secret." I wasn't sure what my parents would do if they found out we were talking like this. Their parents must be abusive. We sat upstairs whispering together and sharing our experiences. She confirmed that she sees shadows outside her bedroom window. She hears footsteps. She notices lights turning off and on. She thought she was going crazy or making it up in her head. I told her about all my experiences and how the same things happened to me. I even told her about the time I was home alone. Well, not too long after this all went down, my parents had to rush to our old town due to a family emergency and said that my older sibling was going to come over and stay with me and the foster kid. But that time I was 16, so I knew it was mainly because of the foster kid, so I had agreed. My parents ended up having to spend the night near the hospital, but they didn't make it back home, and my older sibling flaked on coming over, so I was home alone with the foster kid. Now my parents had foster kids since I was a baby, so I grew up in this situation. Jesus Christ. We ate dinner. I think it was microwave corn dogs, chips, and soda. She went to her bedroom as her bedtime was 8:45, and I stayed upstairs watching TV. To be honest, I was glad she was home alone with me, as at least there was another person in the house. I think it was around midnight. Ah. As she ran upstairs and asked if she could sleep on the sofa next to me. I knew something had happened, so I agreed. But being a teen boy, I gave her some shit like, "You just want to watch TV or get away with things when mom and dad are away." But deep down, I knew what she was going through. How do I have so much seaweed? We both ended up sleeping on the sofa. Well, it was a sectional, so she slept on the side and I slept on the other. I woke her up at 6 and told her to run down to her room as I didn't know when my parents would be home, so she did. Most of my high school friends knew about my house, and for some it became a popular place to check out. Most of the time they were there, nothing happened, of course, except for one time. My dad was working out of town, and my mom and sister and foster kids were out late with church people. Why is it always church people? And I was home alone. A couple of my friends came over, and we were watching TV upstairs. We decided to raid the fridge, so we were all downstairs since we had paused the movie on VHS. Okay, this is. I feel like you could have wrote this better. We were downstairs and upstairs. There was no noise from the TV. We all looked up together as we heard footsteps walking across the room just above our heads. Okay. My friends were like, "Oh shit, that's right." I said, "Yes, that's footsteps I hear." They were scared and thought, "No man, someone's actually up there." I said, "Come on back upstairs, I'll show you." After that, one by one, they all wanted to get out of the house, especially one of the girls who was panicked so bad she fell twice running out of my house. I feel like we've gone on a journey together. This isn't even the end, so I'm gonna take a break from it just to see what Magic Cat said because she's been messaging me and I don't want to ignore her. Due to my legs need no movement. Okay. More paranoid since I can't run. Oh, right. You literally can't leave. I mean, you can crawl. That's fucked up. It's gonna be fucked up. But I'm gonna say you could crawl. Then you said you hate your imagination. Also, yeah, because you always get really like scared and squeamish about this. Magic Cat, I don't know what MW means. Then you said OMG, girl, you're killing me with this. And then you said you need a teddy bear. The real tragedy is the fact that you can't order plushies to your country, so you have no comfort animal. God's preserve us all. I'm going to finish this post and then I'm going to go hang up my laundry on the line. Oh, thank God. There's only 3 more paragraphs. I'm literally ready to cry. This was so unnecessarily long. Now, this was before Google and the internet like we know it today, so I had to go to the public library to look for anything about our old house and found nothing. I remember I had even asked the librarian if there was a way to look up if someone had died in a house, and her reaction to me was just like I was a stupid kid annoying her. I knew one of the homes on the block that my parents had once mentioned they were one of the oldest who had lived in their house since the 60s. I found out which neighbor and decided to go talk to him. One evening he was working on something in his garage, so I went over and started talking to him about the city, history, and how it used to look there when he first moved in. Then once I got him talking enough where I felt comfortable, I asked him if something ever happened in my house. He was at first like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, like if anyone had died there." He stopped what he was doing and said, "Well, what have you heard?" I said nothing but told him about the closed up room, and I didn't tell him about the paranormal stuff, but just said that would make sense if something happened. He looked at me very serious and said, "Well, a long, long time ago there was an accident and the family had teenage and older kids living in that house, but the accident involved a family member who didn't live at the house." He wouldn't go into details except he said maybe ask my parents about it because surely they know more than him. Then he changed the subject and didn't want to talk to me about it anymore. To this day, I never found out what happened or even if it actually happened at the house or to someone who lived at the house. Thank God, it's finally over. That was one of the longest posts I've ever read, and I didn't know it would be that long. Holy shit. You said crawling is the reason my legs need no movement. I'm confused. I thought you said it was standing too long that got your legs. But you realize if you can flop into the floor, you can pull yourself along by your elbows. I mean, you won't get very far very fast, but you could technically move. That, or if you have your wheelchair nearby, you could always roll through the house. Oh, you do crawl a lot. Hmm. I don't have the patience for crawling. It gets on my nerves. So when I'm having a bad pain day, I just say fuck it and bear it. I mean, that's what the cane is for, so that when I'm really experiencing pain, I can still walk. Um, like, would it hurt less to crawl? Probably, but it takes too damn long. And since it's pain that keeps me from walking instead of function, I'm just like, well, time for my cane and some pain medication and a heating pad and some tea. I'm just like, this is taking too long. I can't do this. So, not that I walk very fast when I'm dealing with that kind of pain and stiffness. It's just crawling's even slower, so it doesn't feel worth it to me. I'm like, I could literally just like take something and use my cane. I don't know. I can't stand having to crawl. I had no idea you crawled. Well, it's not even just canes. Like there are crutches. There are some like forearm supports that I'm not quite sure what they're called, but they're not crutches. Or maybe they are, but they're just a different kind. Like there are these like maybe they are called crutches, but they're like these forearm type crutches where it like clasps around your elbow, and then there's a little like handle for your hands to hang down instead of the like big ones that they give people when you like break your leg or something, because there's different kinds of crutches. The other ones are for like long-term use. Then there's a special kind for if you have arthritis or pain. I don't have those. I just have a regular cane. um it's actually a collapsible cane so that I can take it with me when it's not in use. um we're gonna have to travel for something by car. um And even though I'm not having a flare up right now, I'm probably going to take it with me because it would be really bad if I had a flare up while we were gone and then didn't have a cane. So, taking it with me. Just because I don't need it right now doesn't mean I won't need it while we're gone. So, oh god, that means I'm going to have to take my pain medication too. Because it's as needed, but if I leave it at home, then I won't have it to take it when it's needed, which means I have to either take the bottle or just take some. I don't know. Ugh, it's so frustrating. Traveling while disabled is ass, even if you're just traveling by car instead of having to deal with airport security or something. It's just ass. Fuck. You also have the very inconvenient catch-22 of I can't move as much as I'd like to because I'm disabled, but if I don't move just enough, I'll be really sore and stiff, which will make everything feel worse. Like, it's literally just ass. Well, my goal is to catch both of them. We'll see. Yeah, I'm taking a small reading break. I'm just talking. Just talking. Now, where did you go? Ha! That's not what I was looking for, but I still got it. Ooh! My net broke. Yeah. I literally have no idea. It just vanished. It's like nowhere. What on earth? I mean, this isn't the one from earlier, but I'll be happy to catch it. Oh, really? Whatever. I guess the butterfly's just gone. I don't know how it disappeared that fast. Usually they're still flying around somewhere, but when I turned around, it was gone. You saw it. I don't remember what the red and blue one is called, but it's worth more than the other ones. I mean, I'm sure we'll find one again. It's just like, what the hell? It just disappeared so fast. But yeah, I'm going to use this. It's just after 2 hours. So it's 2:03. So I am going to use this as a chance to go hang up my laundry. Also, I'm so excited for our trip. I can't tell you where we're going, where we're leaving from, or how long we'll be gone. Let your imagination clear? Yeah, I guess so, before we dive back into something else. That poor person, whoever OP is, was fucking terrorized in that house. And their siblings were too. That was a lot. That was really a lot. Wow, I love how she just didn't even get it. It's probably a barnacle. Yep. Yeah, this is a really good time for... It's not a break. It's not like I'm stopping to relax. But I'm stepping away so that I can deal with my laundry. Because no one wants... You know how if you leave your laundry in the washing machine too long because a lot of people forget about it, it'll start to mildew and then it smells weird. Yeah, I don't want that to happen. So I can't just leave it there indefinitely. So I'm going to use this opportunity to give us a little break from this. God, that was an intense story. It's not like it was particularly like, I don't know. I feel like it was more physically taxing than anything because I just had to go on and on and on. God, long doesn't even cover it. It was like it was mega long. It's like it had extra length. It was very annoying. Magic Cat said, "I'm just a puss because of paranoia and eyes in room." Rip Magic Cat. Okay. So, I will be back very soon. Okay? All right. Cuz I have to deal with my laundry. I can't just leave it there. took way longer than I thought it would. See, sorry, I'm opening my hot Cheeto bag to get a handful of them. I don't want to eat a lot because, you know, I don't want to spoil my stomach for dinner. I just want like maybe 4 or 5. Because I do have self-control, so like 4 or 5. Anyway, yeah, so the laundry that got done, it's a load that can't be dried, or it'll mess up the fabric. So it all has to be hung dry, which means I had to go and hang all of it piece by piece. So, oh crap! I didn't know a fish was going to be there. Oh well. Let's try down. Yeah, let's go downward. Not sure if Magic Cat is still here, but... Oh, really? Yeah, let's come around. Really? Why is her breath control so shit? Anyway, let's see. What's the next one? Wow. What the hell? I don't know why she can't just go directly for it. She keeps circling it. Alright, so... I love that username. It's especially ironic since I was munching on a hot Cheeto. But it says, spicy is not good. Posted this 3 hours ago. Is it me or is something up? I, 20 male, live with my sister and my dad. Okay. Last week I came home pretty late. It was more or less around 3:30 a.m. I went to sleep peacefully, but my dream was weird to say the least. And mind you, I didn't even drink or take anything. And I remember having this foggy, dreamish vision where I was watching myself packing the car and coming home from the woods near my house. And I vividly remember the feeling. I felt like laughing from the thrill while also being scared of making noise while watching myself open the front door. It was such a weird dream. It felt like a fever dream on acid, which implies they know what it feels like to be on acid. That's funny. And I almost... Hold on. Right. And I almost felt something that I can only describe as being a wild animal with rabies. And then I suddenly woke up panting without my shirt and was all sweaty. And as I tried to regain sleep and relax, I heard something like a thump downstairs. I thought it was the dog, so I didn't even really pay attention and slowly got back to sleep. The issue was that I was awoken yet again with, heavy breath and sweat all over me, which is weird because I never have panic attacks, and I'm as far away from a panicky and paranoid person as you can get. And on top of that, I didn't even have a weird dream or anything like it that time. I remember my dog scratching on my door, which was also incredibly weird. He's never done that, and he has a heavy sleep. I guess they mean he's a heavy sleeper, but they said he has a heavy sleep. So I couldn't have woken him up that easily just by breathing heavily. I remember opening the door and seeing the dog watching downstairs. When I got closer to him, I saw that the bathroom downstairs had the door wide open and the light on. I went down just thinking my dad went to the bathroom while sleeping or something, and as I turned off the light and turned around to get back upstairs, I heard a voice behind me. It was in the bathroom for sure. It wasn't just any voice. It said something like, "Come on, come here," with some stuttering. And that was my voice. My damn voice, but definitely not my speech. I remember trying to act cool and collected and walking back to my room to find the light off, and my dog growled at me until I turned it back on, and even my sister woke up. Wait, your sister's in the same room as you? How old are you? That's a little weird, bro. That might be weirder than the story. Whatever. Anyway. Right, we were at Sister Woke Up. And when I questioned what got her awake, she said, "You just told me to hurry up and come with you. I went to sleep and... Wait, what? It tried to get the sister too? What gets me is why would it speak to him with his own voice? Like, if it spoke to the sister with his voice, why would it not speak to him with her voice? That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. That's so stupid. Let's pick this one down here. Like, I don't get that. I went to sleep and woke up the next morning thinking I was either asleep or a total yikes. That's so. The phrasing he used was or a total schizo, but that's derogatory towards people with schizophrenia. Anyway, since then I had a couple of dreams similar to that. One where I wasn't me. I was basically looking through someone else's point of view, hiding in the woods like a maniac. What? Why does hiding in the woods make you a maniac? Watching over my house in the middle of the night, but no weird noises or anything like that. What's weird is that as a kid, when we lived in another house at the opposite side of the hill in the woods, very close to our current one, I had creepy feelings about our home. It was very weird and eerie, and I wasn't the only one. I was born in that house and always stuck with me, but I never had bad vibes about our new house. Am I crazy? Was I asleep? Or am I perceptive of bad entities? What should I do? Magic Cat came back and immediately gave me the little sad goat thing. Had a moment to relax. Welcome to paranoia. Sorry? I just wish he would quit throwing around the word schizo because that's really derogatory for people with schizophrenia. I mean, I suppose it's also generally derogatory towards anyone with mental illness, but it's specifically derogatory towards people with schizophrenia. You bumped your head. Oh no. I finished the Cheetos I was slowly nibbling, and now there's Cheeto dust all over my hand. Okay. Fixed it. That's what napkins are for. God, it always grates on me when someone on TV just rubs it down their shirt. It's like, do you not have napkins? Could you not just wash it off? Or, barring that, lick it off? Like, why just smear it down your shirt and pants? Didn't make sense to me. You said you hit your head and now you have a bump that hurts. How the hell did you hit your head? You said you couldn't even... Did you bang it on the wall or something? Because you said you can't leave your bed right now. So how did you do this? Gothic Slytherin posted this 6 hours ago. It's literally just titled, "What the fuck is going on?" The house we live in was built in the 70s. The people who built it, we know them. They had 6 kids. One expired in the hospital shortly after it was born, but the third child was a little girl who expired at the age of 7 to 8. We went to the town hall. There's no record of this girl ever existing. No one knows what happened to her, and they took her to be buried in another state. That's a little weird. Why? What? Okay. A short time later, the mother got sick and also expired. A few months later, the dad married the mom's sister and they started getting sick. I wonder if they were... Do you think they were having an affair behind the original wife's back? Or do you think the original wife or the kid are, like, upset that he moved on to the sister slash aunt? Anyway, they moved out and steadily their health improved. When my grandparents bought it from them, my grandparents were fit and healthy, except my grandpa had diabetes and my grandma had a stomach ulcer. Then they're not fit and healthy. Those are underlying conditions. I don't think you know what fit and healthy means. I hate when people say shit they clearly don't fucking understand. It just gets on my nerves. It's like you clearly just don't even know what you're talking about. Like, what? Anyway, after a while, their health started declining. My grandpa expired 4 years later from diabetes-related illness, triggering early onset Alzheimer's. Holy shit. My grandma, her health went downhill much slower. Both of them suffered multiple heart attacks and seizures. Ooh, another clam. Sorry, those two things are not related to each other. My grandma finally expired from the recent plague. Now I live here with my mom, my sister, and my 2 brothers, my girlfriend. Why do you have "and" twice? My mom has been on a heart transplant list for years. When we moved in here a month ago, her heart function was at 52%, and in only a month, she's had multiple heart attacks and her function has reduced to 12. My brother has developed a drinking problem and anger problems. My sister, who was born with Down syndrome, has started throwing tantrums and harming herself out of nowhere, and I've been having seizures and severe depression. My other brother and his girlfriend have been fighting like crazy where they never used to before. What the fuck is going on? Is it related to the little girl? Is the house cursed, or is there a more logical explanation? Um, I mean, it could be cursed, but you could also just have an environmental factor that's somehow affecting the health of everyone who comes into contact with it. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. Radiation, what's the stuff that can affect the whole household? Radon, carbon monoxide poisoning, fucking arsenic in wallpaper, asbestos, black mold. I don't know. Y'all could have some shit in there. Like, that doesn't mean it's a ghost, but y'all could have some shit in there that needs to be taken care of. Just saying. Ooh, I love this. First comment, Shao Stardust said, had you had, that makes no sense. I don't think English is their first language, but basically they're saying, did you have anyone check on your house for black mold or asbestos? Both of which they misspelled, but it's fine. Um, you might want to hire a contractor to do a general check on the house. Sounds like there might be something toxic in the environment. That's what I said. Exactly. All that shit was way too convenient. Way too convenient. I was like, they got something. They got something. That doesn't mean it's a spirit, but they got something. Something's wrong with their house. Doesn't mean it's supernatural, but something's definitely wrong with it. All that shit happened? Nope. That's not natural. Doesn't mean it's supernatural, but that's not normal? Everyone who stays in the house gets sick? There's something there. I don't know if it's lead pipes, uh, fucking arsenic or mercury or whatever. I don't know. Y'all got something going on. Y'all need to fix that shit. I don't know what it is. But whatever it is, y'all need to fix it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Y'all need to fix that shit before it kills you. It's already killed people. That's the thing, y'all. Like, just because whatever's in your house isn't a ghost doesn't mean that you shouldn't be worried about it. I feel like people are so focused on worrying about spirits that they don't think about the fact that, for instance, having asbestos in the insulation. Having asbestos in insulation, for instance, is bad. And not everyone even is aware of the fact that they have that. Yeah. Especially in old houses. Old houses will have lead in the paint. They'll have asbestos in the insulation. Like, all kinds of shit. Y'all need to get that checked out. Not to mention the fact that there is some shit that probably does have hallucinatory properties. But y'all haven't really been seeing shit is the thing. It's been making you sick. I love how they said, we'll think about it. What the fuck do you have to think about? Someone said, I don't know what it is, but I suggest you move ASAP and see if it helps. Someone else said, I don't know if anyone would be able to answer that for you, but I'd personally be noping out of that living arrangement super quick. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what it is about the house, but it's literally killing them. It's quite literally killing them. That doesn't mean they have a curse placed by, I don't know. You know, like, doesn't mean it's cursed. Doesn't mean it's haunted, but there's definitely something wrong with it. You know, we don't know if it's asbestos, mercury, arsenic, black mold. It's something. Something in their house is not right. Radon, I don't know. Something's killing them. Because you know how they'll be like, one's an accident, two is a coincidence, and three is a pattern? Well, what is 10? Huh? What is 10? Wait, was that 10 yet? Hold on. Let me go back and count how many people were involved in this shit. Right, because it said the mother got sick and died first. Uh-huh. And then when the dad remarried, him and the wife got sick. They moved out and their health improved. Right. Then the two grandparents bought it. Both got sick and died. Right. And then... Right. Now they live there with mom, sister, two brothers, and brother's girlfriend. So now mom is sick, brother's sick, sister's sick, OP's sick, and brother and girlfriend aren't sick, but they're fighting. That's 10 people. Okay, that is actually 10 people. I was guesstimating earlier because I couldn't quite remember how many people. That is 10 people plus potentially 11 because they're not sure how the child perished or what made the child expire. So honestly, you might be looking at over 10 cases. Over 10. That is a lot of people who have just had ill health in that house. There's something wrong with the house. I'm not saying it's a hellmouth. I'm not saying it's possessed or cursed or haunted. I'm saying there's something wrong with it. Now, if you can't find a normal cause, you know, asbestos, lead, black mold, something. If you can't find normal cause, then you could look at an abnormal cause. But there are a lot of reasons, especially because they just did not, like the old houses and stuff, they just did not have the same standards that we have. They would put all kinds of shit in the house that shouldn't be in a house. God, all I can think about is how the Victorians had that arsenic wallpaper and were literally just killing themselves from the fumes. Like, I'm just saying, there's something wrong with the house. I don't know if it's anything like arsenic green wallpaper kind of deal, but there's something wrong with it. I'm not saying it's literally the wallpaper. Of course, there could be something in the walls that is affecting everyone. There's a gas that termites release, I think, that could be affecting people too. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot that it could be. You know, it could be the paint, the wallpaper, the insulation, the pipes. There's all kinds of chemicals it could be. There's even creatures it could be, because I mentioned the fucking termites. I mean, hell, if there are any rodents or other pests, they could be making you sick. Doesn't mean that you're cursed by 13 ghosts or whatever. It just means something's wrong with the house, and there are very normal, non-otherworldly things that could be causing you issues. Quite literally. Wow, I love how we're just not gonna catch this fish at all, period. That's just not happening, is it? No, it's not. Also, you said what happened to your leg was yesterday, but it still hurts. It still hurts now. I can imagine. Oh! You're saying you hit your head yesterday. And also you had stuff with your leg going on yesterday. Okay. I don't know what to tell you. Except to rest, which you're already doing, so like, there's no reason for me to tell you that. You know? I don't know if there's anything that you can do or not do that would make you feel better, but I am sorry that you have to deal with that. What's normal? Me eating Cheetos in the background? Yeah, that's pretty normal. Hmm. Issa's so tiny. It's an eel. Oh, there's something right here. I didn't quite expect anything to be barnacle. Really? But the dot was so tiny. Shouldn't it have been seaweed? Hmm. Hmm. Wait, what? Oh, you once say 2 months because the doctor thought you needed surgery. Do you mean like you being in bed is normal? There we go. Swollen leg. Mm. Floop. Does anything usually help the swelling? If the swelling is normal? There we go. Is it just me or do the bubbles seem more subtle? Wow, not using your leg in ice. That's really the only thing that helps. Well, it is what it is. Sometimes no matter what you do, flare-ups just happen. I mean, that happens with me. Sometimes no matter what I do, flare-ups just happen. It doesn't really matter. You know? What is it? Nice. I can't quite judge when it's a scallop, so. Really? What did it sound like? Floop. Honey bunches? It you. I'm guessing you went grocery shopping?
Yeah, unless you didn't want any more lunch.
I'm fine. I was just asking. Jesus.
I was just saying. Well,
You said it in a dickish way. I wasn't sure if you were gonna refill it since we, like, weren't gonna be here you know when, but. Actually, a lot of it probably has a distant date, so I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, your cat's making weird noises? LOL. Okay. You're a wee woo. I don't know what that means. Hmm? Oh, we talked about that way long ago. LOL. So it is your PS4? I'm confused. So, if it's yours, why does it matter when you play on it? It's yours and you're an adult. Who cares? Why is he being weird about it? Just because there's one in the family doesn't mean you're obligated to share with everyone. And it's a gift from your mother, too? Fuck that guy. Are you sure he can't just get cursed? I promise it's not a death curse. Especially because no one learns anything that way. I don't understand him. It's specifically yours. It was a gift from your mother, and you're an adult. And it was in your mother's house because you said something about it being in her name. What authority would he have to say you can only play during the morning or that he gets to take it and play? He's nothing. Okay? Then he should have thought about that before he took up your time slot. Fair is fair. Tell your mom. This is very frustrating. You're too nice. I would have popped him already. With my hand, not whatever the hell that implies. No, I'm saying I would have smacked the shit out of him. What the actual hell? Mom talked to him. Good! What the hell? He can't just commandeer someone else's stuff. Because if you take it from a child, you're disgusting for stealing from, literally stealing from babies. And if you take it from an adult, well, that's still your offspring, so you're still disgusting, just for a different reason. I just don't understand people like that. I'm honestly surprised that she hasn't divorced him yet. I don't know about all schools of Islam, but I know that, like, I've been told by multiple Muslim women that divorce is permissible, that women are allowed to divorce, that it's in the Quran, and I think she should dump his ass. I'm just saying. He brought it back here, so I'm just trying to enjoy my day off. Days. Go ahead, yeah. The nerve of that man. It's the principle of the matter. You're so nice to him for no reason. Like, if we were both in the woods and running from a bear because we were afraid we were going to get mauled to death, I would trip him. Okay. I'm confused. I'm not sure what that's an answer to, but I really don't know why she hasn't divorced him yet. Divorce! Everything he does is so unacceptable. I don't understand how she can allow him to treat her children like that. Yes, you may not be actual literal children, but the fact that you're her offspring should count for something. I don't know. I feel like I'd be cussing this man out every other day. I don't think I could allow him to be around my kids. Or we would have already had words. There would have been hands thrown already. It's not like I'm out here beating people up all the time, because I'm not. It's just like, how can you not kick someone's ass when they're horrible to your children? Doesn't matter if they're adults. They're still your offspring. You still had them. Surely you care how they're treated. I just wouldn't be able to stand it. I just can't believe he just... Why is he so awful? Hold on. I don't want her image of being a good mom getting destroyed because her daughter had a fight. What? I don't understand. How are those things related at all? What does her image of motherhood have to do with him treating you in a certain way? Wouldn't it be his image as a father that's at stake? And believe me, that was broken long ago. Especially since his bio kids apparently hate him too. I don't understand how this is about her. And I don't understand not saying anything just so people won't fight. What's the point of allowing yourself to be mistreated over and over instead of saying something? I'm already frustrated with myself for doing that when I was younger. That's why it irritates me when I see it in other people. Wait, 30,000 bells? Ooh la la. Nice. Thanks, random sky people. Exactly. His image is nothing. I don't even think he has an image anymore. I just can't imagine having both your natural um close family, so like your actual bio kids, and then also your legal family or marriage family, however you want to talk about it, the one you marry into also hating you. Jesus Christ, he just sucks. He's just such a sucky person. You said she's waiting to move? I'm confused. So, does this mean that when you finish moving into the new house, he won't be there? I'm so confused. Hmm. Not as much. Okay. So this move isn't just because of the crazy neighbors, it also gets you away from him. Good. Good, because if we were in a horror movie together and me and him were running from the same slasher, I wouldn't help him. I'm just saying. I wouldn't help him. I would just let them get him. Fuck that. I don't know why awful people always expect everyone else to pretend that they didn't do anything wrong and nothing happened. Fuck that. If he's gonna mistreat us, then he can fend for himself. Fuck that. Not to mention the fact that if you did help him, he's the kind of skeezy fucker who'd just double cross you and get you killed. Nope. 110% not enduring the events of a horror movie with him, just saying. Why does he even care? It's not like he's a father to you anyway. Why does he care? I don't understand. Why is he so preoccupied with this to begin with? Why does he care? He's certainly not concerned with being a father, so why does he care? Deadbeat and shitty men be doing the most. They be getting offended when you talk about good men, then don't do anything to make themselves a good man? Fuck him. Also, I'm gonna have to leave soon. Okay, I'm just gonna sell whatever's left in my pockets. I don't think I have anything left. Really? 299,590. Okay, that pisses me off. Damn. And how did that work for his fragile little ego? I bet he threw a hissy fit. He probably cried big man tears over that. You saying that you prefer your bio dad over him. As he should. I can't believe he was talking about you in such a derogatory way. Saying that you're just around the house to be a helper. That you're just the help. That's fucked. Hi, Darmani5. Hola. Let's see. Oh. Oh, I think I already took everything back. My bad. Not quite what I'm looking for. Darn it. Hmm. Mm. Oh, crap. Mm. What's the best way to describe it? Muscle mantle. Not really good or bad. I can't really say muy bien when nothing really happened. Es todo que necesito. Oh. Es una lástima. I have to use... No quiero pagar la cuenta. Oh well. Here we go. It was a good amount of money too. Oh well, now it's gone. It's still though. But fuck, that hurt. He seems like a very ass person. What, your stepdad? That's because he is. What, this is the most objective point of view you could get. Well, one of the most objective points of view. I've never even met the guy and he sounds that unpleasant. So, yeah. Hmm. Unpleasant indeed. Sí, exactamente. Claro. He seems like literally the worst stepfather I've ever heard of. Well, one of the worst at least. Definitely top 10. I can't imagine being a parent that steals from my kids. That's just so fucked up. Bio kids, adopted kids, step kids, foster kids. I just can't imagine being a parent and stealing from my children. And again, it's the principle of the matter. It doesn't matter if they're literally children and they're like itty bitty and 5, or if they're adults. You don't steal from your children. How hard is this to understand? He's morally bankrupt. Who steals from their own? I mean, why would you? You could ask why someone would steal from, you know, anyone at all, or why someone would steal from children at all, if it's the case of them literally being children. But to steal from your own family is just, I don't know. It's just an extra layer of shitty because it's people who were supposed to have an implicit trust of you that you've broken. You know what I mean? Because at that point, it's not just the stealing, it's what goes along with it. But anyway, I have to deal with groceries, and I have no idea what we're having for dinner. How did I know what? I was about to bounce to put groceries up and see what we have for dinner, but let's finish up this conversation. How did I know what? I mean, I honestly consider what he did with the PS4 to be stealing, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's stolen other things. Does he take your money? No, I said stealing. Does he take your money too? No, I can absolutely imagine him just taking other stuff, but I was talking about when he took your electronic earlier. Because it's not like he paid for it. He didn't pay for it. He didn't give it to you. You weren't in his house because it's your mom's house, and you're an adult. There was no reason for him to take that from you. None. But, you know, if he's stealing other stuff, whether that be money or food or anything, then yeah, obviously that's stealing too. But I was talking about that. I consider that stealing. Um, like, yes, he did return it, but he still stole it. Mm-hmm. I mean, if someone takes a joyride in your car without asking, even if they return it, you still count it as stealing, right? All right. We'll talk later on Discord then. Bye, Magic Cat, and thank you for everyone who came by.